nowhere near a game like Horizon Zero Dawn. It's nowhere near a game like God of War. It's nowhere near any of the Mass Effect games. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the video. So today I want to give my first impressions on Final Fantasy VII Remake. I picked this game up, pre-ordered it, and downloaded it at midnight, and I was very excited to get going. So with about 12 hours of gameplay gone through, I kind of wanted to share what my thoughts were on the game. And for those of y'all with a short attention span, I'll just go on and say from the beginning that I think Final Fantasy VII Remake so far is just okay. It's not a bad game. It's not a very good game. It's just okay. And the reason that I kind of say that so far is, primarily two reasons. And the first reason has to go with the storytelling. In my previous video where I talked about one reason I felt the Final Fantasy VII Remake could, disappoint a lot of people is because I said video games should be like a complete experience, right? You should never feel like the game has been cut out in order to leave room for a sequel. So I was like, we all know that Final Fantasy VII Remake doesn't cover the whole entire original game, but it's just the Midgar section of the original game. So how do you make a full experience, out of a third? How do you make a full experience out of a third of the story? And what I said there is like, you're going to have to add a lot of stuff. You're going to have to almost kind of rework the story so you can have this feeling of completeness. And what they ended up doing was just adding a bunch of filler, and you're probably wondering what's the difference between a filler and the main storyline, right? And if any of you guys have ever played the Mass Effect games, there's something called royalty missions. It's where they're not part of the main storyline, but you have your companions, and you have the option of going to do these missions with those companions because you have some type of special story arc there. And if you complete these missions, that character becomes loyal, grateful to you, something like that. They're really fun and they're really good, but they're not part of the main storyline. They're just very great side quests that add a lot to the game. What Final Fantasy seems to have done is that they've made similar style missions, but made it such that it's the main story. 2 hours in, we have a short little mission with Jesse. We have one with Aerith, and we have one that looks like it's about to start with Tifa. And that's, to me, that's not progressing the main story enough. It just feels like filler. And that's one of the things I think greatly, takes away from the story and the experience. It's I'm not really excited to do this. I've done all the side quests up to this point, and I'm okay, for a lot of gamers, there's this point where it's I'm gonna do all these side quests, and then whenever I yearn for that story more, I'm gonna go on to the main mission. And you finish all the side quests, you go on to the main mission, and you're ready for that extra dose of story, and it just feels like you're on another very well done side quest, but you're not really getting any main story. Another reason I feel like Final Fantasy VII is kind of okay is just the progression. I don't find the progression very exciting. You could argue that you have a bunch of customability with all the different materials, and the type of progression upgrade grids that they have allows you to kind of individualize each character, but it just seems a bit boring. It's not really an exciting thing to upgrade your characters. And whenever you look at new weapons, you get new weapons, and then you're able to have a special ability, and after you've begun mastery of that ability, you could use that ability with any weapon that you have. And the problem that I have with that, it's kind of a cool idea, but mastery happens way too quick. It's you get a new weapon, and then you have 4 fights with it, and then you've mastered it. So it's kind of what's the point? Like, what's the point of saying, all right, here's this additional weapon. I've mastered this ability. It's almost like, why don't you just like make it such that they get tomes or something like they do in Pokemon or something like that? Like, what's the point of getting this new weapon? It's possible that I'm probably just like so early into the game, I'm not seeing like the big benefit of it. I know things like, you know, the bat with the nails, and it has like special abilities where you can like cripple an opponent more easily or something like that. Maybe at harder difficulties, this is something that, you know, will actually make a huge difference in combat. But to me, that upgrade system is really poor. And overall, just the game in general, I said like so far the game's like okay, like it's just good. You know, it's nowhere near a game like Horizon Zero Dawn. It's nowhere near a game like God of War. It's nowhere near any of the Mass Effect games. Um, it's not good. No, different game. Like it's not as good as Fallout 3. Completely different game. Like it's not as good as, you know, Devil May Cry 5 or DMC Devil May Cry. Like it's not as fun. Totally different games, but it's fun meters. Like, not even close. It's not as good as any of the Dragon Age games. It's not as good as The Witcher. Like, and you know, you can all see all these games are different. Like, it's nothing like it. But it's like there's no recent major release that this game is better than. Like, you'd have to go, in my opinion, to Final Fantasy 15. And you know, Final Fantasy 15, you know, that's not very hard to beat. It had like a nonsensical story and extremely unappealing combat. So, this is a game that, you know, all the Final Fantasy fans, you know, you just have to buy it because, you know, you're a fan of the series. But it's something that, you know, you could probably wait to go on sale. It's not something that you have to play. It's just okay. So, you know, those are my initial thoughts on Final Fantasy 7. I just want to put them out there. You know, trying to be more aggressive on putting out the content. But, you know, if you made it this far, you know, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe.